My pregnant wife admitted, "The baby might be my yoga instructor's, but we're married, so legally you have to pay." I said, "I know the law." Then I handed her divorce papers and an eviction notice I'd prepped weeks ago. Her face when the sheriff arrived to escort her out. I'm writing this from my quiet house, finally quiet. Been married to Sarah for 4 years. I'm 34, she's 31. No kids yet, which honestly looking back, thank God for that. Let me back up to where this actually started because it wasn't some slow burn where I ignored red flags for years. I'm not that guy. This whole thing exploded fast, maybe 7 weeks total from first suspicion to the end. About 10 weeks ago, Sarah joined this boutique yoga studio. Hot yoga, she called it. Expensive as hell, like $200 a month for unlimited classes. I didn't care about the money. I make good money, we were comfortable, and she seemed excited about getting in shape. Fine by me. First 3 weeks, everything seemed normal. She'd go to evening classes, come home sweaty, tell me about the poses, whatever. I was happy she found something she enjoyed. Then week 4 hit and things shifted. She started adding morning classes, before work. This meant leaving the house at 5:30 a.m. Her job doesn't start until 9. I asked why so early. Chase teaches the morning sessions. He's incredible, babe. Really pushes us. Chase, the instructor. Cool, fine. Except she said his name weird. Too familiar. Too comfortable. I'm not some jealous psycho, but I pay attention. Started noticing her phone habits changed. She'd get texts during dinner, glance at them, smile, put the phone face down. Never used to do that. We always shared funny stuff with each other. Week 5, one morning I woke up when she was leaving for class. Her outfit caught my eye. New yoga pants, really tight, and some designer sports bra thing that probably cost $100. Full makeup, at 5:30 in the morning. For yoga. Where you sweat? I didn't say anything. Just filed it away. That same week we were supposed to have dinner with my brother on Saturday. She canceled last minute. Said she forgot about a special workshop at the studio. Saturday evening workshop. I checked the studio's website later that night. No workshops listed. That's when I knew something was actually wrong. Monday morning, week 6, I called in sick to work. Waited until Sarah left for her morning class, then I followed her. Stayed way back. She drove to the studio, parked, went inside. Normal so far. I parked down the street and waited. Class was supposed to be 90 minutes. I gave it 2 hours. She came out at the 2-hour mark. Not alone. This guy walked out with her. Tall, fit, man bun, the whole yoga instructor stereotype. They stood by her car talking for another 20 minutes. Lots of touching. His hand on her lower back, her laughing, touching his arm. Then, he leaned in and kissed her. Not a friendly peck. Full kiss. She kissed him back. I sat there watching my wife make out with her yoga instructor in a parking lot at 8 a.m. on a Monday. Drove home. Beat her there. When she walked in 30 minutes later, I was on the couch with my laptop like nothing happened. "How was class?" I asked. "Great. Really intense today." Big smile. Lied right to my face. That was it for me. I wasn't going to confront her and give her a chance to spin some story or make me look crazy. I was going to handle this right. Called a lawyer that afternoon, explained the situation. He told me to document everything and not to tip her off. Gave me names of private investigators. I hired one that same day. For the next 3.5 weeks, the investigator followed Sarah. Morning classes that ran long, afternoon coffee meetings with Chase at a cafe near the studio. One Thursday, she told me she had a late work thing. She didn't. She went to his apartment and stayed for 4 hours. The investigator got photos of everything, timestamps, locations, the whole thing. He also did some background on Chase. Turns out this guy was 26, lived in a dumpy apartment, taught yoga, and did some personal training on the side. Real winner. My lawyer started preparing divorce papers. We're in a state where adultery can matter for asset division. The evidence would help make sure I didn't get screwed on spousal support or the house. Here's the thing about our house. I bought it 2 years before we got married. It was mine. When we got married, I didn't add her name to the deed. She never asked, never seemed to care. My name only on the mortgage, the deed, everything. My lawyer confirmed she had 0 ownership claim. During a marriage, though, she had a right to live there. After divorce, that right disappears. The plan was simple. File for divorce. Include a provision that she vacates the marital home immediately since she has no ownership. My lawyer said with the adultery evidence and premarital ownership, a judge would grant it. Almost 4 weeks of evidence gathering. 4 weeks of her lying to my face. 4 weeks of me pretending everything was fine while I built an airtight case. Then it happened. Sarah had been weird for a few days. Emotional, crying at random things on TV. I figured maybe she was feeling guilty. Maybe Chase was pushing her to leave me. I didn't care anymore. My exit was ready. Friday night, she said we needed to talk. I knew that tone. Here we go. We sat on the couch. She was nervous, fidgeting with her hands. I'm pregnant, she said. I just looked at her, didn't react. Inside, my brain was doing calculations. We hadn't slept together in over a month. Before that, maybe once in the previous month. She was always too tired, too sore from yoga. Yeah, yoga. Okay, I said. Calm. Even. She was watching me close, trying to read me. There's something else. She took a breath. The baby might not be yours. Might not be. I almost laughed. Might not be, I repeated. Flat. Chase and we've been. She was trying to find words that didn't make her sound like exactly what she was. You've been sleeping with your yoga instructor. I said it for her. She looked down, nodded. So the baby is probably his? I said. I don't know. It could be yours. The timing, it's hard to say for sure. The timing, like this was some scheduling mix-up. But here's the thing, she said, and her voice changed. It got a little harder. We're married, so legally, even if it is Chase's, you're presumed to be the father. You'd be responsible. I just stared at her. She kept going. I looked it up. In this state, the husband is automatically the legal father if the wife gives birth during the marriage. You'd be on the birth certificate. You'd owe child support even if we got divorced. She thought she had me cornered. Thought she could cheat, get pregnant with another man's baby, and I'd be stuck paying for it because of marriage laws. The audacity was almost impressive. So what are you saying? I asked, still calm. I'm saying we can work this out. We can raise the baby together. It doesn't matter who the biological father is, we're married. This is our baby legally. Our baby. This woman was unbelievable. And Chase? I asked. She waved her hand. That's over. It was just physical. It didn't mean anything. You're my husband. You're who I want to build a life with. It didn't mean anything. 4 hours in his apartment didn't mean anything. Weeks of lying didn't mean anything. You've really thought this through. I said. I have. I know I messed up, but we can move past this. For the baby. She was actually smiling a little, like she'd solved a problem. You're right about the law, I said. I do know how it works. She relaxed. Thought I was agreeing. I stood up, walked to my office, grabbed the manila folder I'd prepared, walked back, sat down, placed it on the coffee table between us. What's that? She asked. Divorce papers. Her face went blank. What? I've known about Chase for over a month now. I had you followed. I have photographs of you kissing him in the parking lot. Photos of you entering his apartment and not leaving for hours. Dates, times, locations, it's all documented. The color drained from her face. You're right about the marriage laws, I continued. If you give birth while we're married, I'd be presumed the father. That's why we're getting divorced immediately. These papers are already filed with the court. You're being served right now. I pushed the folder toward her. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. The house is mine. Bought before marriage, deed in my name only. The divorce filing includes an order for you to vacate immediately. My lawyer says with the adultery evidence and my sole ownership, the judge will grant it. You'll need to be out within days of the court order. You can't, we're married. You can't just throw me out. I can once we're divorced, and we will be very soon. Check with a lawyer if you want. You have no ownership claim to this house. She started crying. This is insane. You're being cruel. I'm being practical. You cheated. You got pregnant with another man's baby. You thought you could trap me into paying for it using marriage laws. That's not happening. I have nowhere to go. You have Chase. I'm sure his apartment is cozy. He doesn't. We're not. It's not like that with him. Not my problem. She was full on sobbing now. How can you be so cold after everything we've been through? Everything we've been through, Sarah. You've been lying to my face for weeks. You were just trying to lock me into raising another man's kid. And you thought I'd just accept it. That's cold. I made a mistake. Multiple mistakes. Repeatedly. For weeks. Those aren't mistakes. That's who you are. She tried a different angle. Anger. You're going to regret this. My lawyer is going to destroy you. I'll get half of everything. The house was mine before marriage. Separate property. You'll get a share of marital assets accumulated during our 4 years together, which isn't much. My lawyer is very good. You'll get what you're legally entitled to, and that's it. That was a guess, but her face told me my lawyer was probably right. You've been planning this, she said, for weeks, while pretending everything was fine. Yes, while you were planning to baby trap me with your yoga instructor's kid, we were both planning. I was just better at it. She sat there crying, mascara running down her face. I felt nothing. Maybe I should have felt bad. I didn't. You need to call someone to stay with, I said. Tonight, I want you out of the master bedroom. You can use the guest room until the court orders you out, which will be soon. You're kicking me out while I'm pregnant? You're pregnant with another man's baby. Yes. It might be yours. Do you actually believe that? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. Call Chase. Call your mom. Call whoever. But make arrangements. She grabbed her phone, ran upstairs. I heard her on the phone, voice high and frantic. Heard my name mentioned. Probably calling her mom. 20 minutes later, she came back down with an overnight bag. My mom is picking me up. Good. She says you're heartless. I'm sure she does. She says no judge will let you throw out your pregnant wife. My lawyer disagrees. We'll see who's right. Sarah stood there, bag in hand, looking around the living room like she was seeing it for the last time. Maybe she was. I really did love you, she said quietly. No, you didn't. You loved what I provided. Security, money, a nice house. When the yoga instructor gave you attention, you jumped at it. That's not love. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? Her phone buzzed. My mom's outside. Bye, Sarah. She left. Door closed. Silence. I sat there for a minute. Then I got up, poured myself a drink, and called my lawyer to let him know she'd been served and had left the house. The weekend was quiet. Sarah texted a few times, asking if we could talk, asking if I was serious, asking if there was any way to work this out. I didn't respond. My lawyer said not to engage. Monday morning, her mom called me. I let it go to voicemail. She left a long message about how I was destroying her daughter's life, how dare I abandon my wife when she's pregnant, how I was going to hell. Deleted it. Tuesday, Sarah's best friend Amanda called. I answered that one out of curiosity. You're really going through with this? Amanda asked. No hello? Straight to it. Yes, she made a mistake. People make mistakes. Amanda, she's pregnant with another man's baby and tried to use marriage laws to force me to pay for it. That's not a mistake. She's scared and alone. She has Chase. She has her mom. She has you. She's not alone. Chase wants nothing to do with the baby. He told her to handle it. Of course he did. The 26-year-old yoga instructor didn't want to be a dad. Shocking. Still not my problem. I said, you're heartless. I'm protecting myself. If that makes me heartless, fine. She hung up on me. Wednesday, I got home from work and saw Sarah's car in the driveway. She was inside, in the guest room. I knocked on the door. We need to set ground rules, I said through the door. She opened it. Eyes red. Looked like she'd been crying for days. Ground rules? You're living here temporarily until the court orders you out. We're not married anymore in any real sense. That the divorce is filed. Emergency hearing is scheduled for next week. Stay in this room, stay out of my way, and start looking for an apartment. I can't afford an apartment on my own. Figure it out. Get a roommate. Move in with your mom. I don't care. My mom's place is tiny. She doesn't have room. Amanda's place? She has a 1-bedroom. Sarah, you have options. You're choosing not to use them because they're uncomfortable. That's on you. You used to care about me. I cared about my wife. You're not her anymore. That person doesn't exist. Maybe she never did. She started crying again. I closed the door and went to my room. Thursday was when things escalated. I got a call from an unknown number at work. Answered it. Is this Sarah's husband? Man's voice. Young. Who's asking? This is Chase, the yoga instructor. Bold of him. What do you want? Look, man, Sarah told me about the situation. The divorce, kicking her out, all that. Okay, that's pretty messed up. She's pregnant. With your baby. Silence on his end. That's not confirmed, he finally said, but it's possible. Likely even. Look, I didn't sign up for this. Sarah said she was handling birth control. This wasn't supposed to happen. So you're calling me why? She needs help. She can't afford a place on her own. You're her husband. You should step up. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. You're calling to tell me I should step up and take care of your pregnant girlfriend? She's your wife. Soon-to-be ex-wife, who you were sleeping with. And now you want me to handle the consequences of your affair because you don't want to. I'm just saying, legally you're responsible. Let me be clear, Chase. I know the law better than you do. I've already filed for divorce. By the time that baby is born, we won't be married. Even if we were, I can contest paternity. When the DNA test comes back not mine, I'm off the hook. So no, I'm not responsible. You are. Good luck with that. I hung up. That night, Sarah was in the kitchen when I got home. She'd made dinner, set 2 places at the table. I thought we could eat together, she said. Talk. There's nothing to talk about. Please, just sit with me for 10 minutes. Against my better judgment, I sat, didn't touch the food. I know I messed up, she started. I know I hurt you, but we can still fix this. No, we can't. The baby is not mine. You don't know that. Sarah, be honest. With yourself, if not with me. Whose baby is it? She looked down at her plate. That's what I thought. Even if it's Chase's, we could still raise it together. Lots of families. Stop. Just stop. You're not listening. I don't want to raise another man's baby. I don't want to be married to someone who betrayed me. I don't want this life anymore. You're being so stubborn. I'm being sane. My therapist says you're being emotionally abusive. Your therapist can say whatever she wants. Doesn't change the facts. She started crying again. I got up and left. The emergency hearing happened the following Tuesday. Sarah showed up with a lawyer she'd somehow scraped together money for. Mr. Peterson looked expensive, which meant someone was funding this, probably her parents. My lawyer presented everything. The premarital ownership of the house, the adultery evidence, all the photos, timestamps, the investigator's report, the fact that Sarah had left voluntarily and was staying with her mother. Mr. Peterson argued she was pregnant and vulnerable, that I was being vindictive, that she deserved time to find proper housing. The judge looked tired. Asked Sarah directly why she thought she should remain in a house she had no legal claim to, especially given the circumstances. She tried to cry, tried to play victim, said she made a mistake, that I was being cruel, that she had nowhere to go. Judge wasn't having it. Ruled that since the house was my separate property, purchased before marriage, and given the adultery evidence, Sarah had no right to remain. Gave her 72 hours to remove all belongings. 3 days. Mr. Peterson tried to object. Judge shut him down. Said Sarah should have thought about housing before destroying her marriage. Sarah looked at me across the courtroom, pure hatred in her eyes. I felt nothing. That Friday I took the day off work, waited at home. Around noon, a moving truck showed up. Sarah's mom and Amanda came. Some guy I didn't recognize. They loaded boxes for 3 hours. I stayed inside, watched from the window. Sarah came in one last time, walked through the rooms. I stood in the hallway, arms crossed. This was my home too, she said. No, it was my house. You just lived here. I hope you're happy. I'm getting there. She left. Didn't look back. The moving truck pulled away. Her mom's car followed. Then quiet. I walked through the house. It felt bigger, cleaner, like something toxic had been removed. Poured myself a drink, sat on my couch, in my house. That was completely mine again. The divorce was finalized 2 months later. Sarah tried to drag it out, but there wasn't much to fight over. House was mine, ruled separate property. Cars were in our separate names. Bank accounts split based on contribution, which heavily favored me since I made 3 times what she did. She got some furniture, some savings. That was it. No alimony. Marriage was short. She had income, and the adultery killed any sympathy. She tried to argue emotional distress. Judge didn't care. Said she caused her own distress by cheating. The baby was born about 6.5 months after she confessed. She was further along than she'd let on when she told me. Probably knew for a while before saying anything, trying to figure out her angle. After the baby was born, she had Chase served with paternity papers. Test came back 99.9% his. He tried to dodge child support, but the court nailed him. Turns out yoga instructors don't make much money. She wasn't getting much from him, maybe $400 a month. I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved in with her mom permanently, working full-time while her mom watched the baby. Chase sees the kid every other weekend, complains about it constantly on social media apparently. Never wanted to be a dad. She tried to reach out once, about 8 months after everything. Long email about how she'd changed, how she understood what she'd lost, how she wanted to apologize in person. I didn't respond. Deleted it without finishing. Some people think I was too harsh, that I should have given her a chance to explain, to make amends, that kicking her out while pregnant was cruel. Maybe it was harsh, but I'm not losing sleep over it. She made her choices. Chose to cheat, chose to lie, chose to try to trap me with another man's baby using legal loopholes. Those were all her decisions. I just chose not to be a victim of them. About a year later now, house is still mine. Got a promotion at work, dating someone new, taking it slow. She's nothing like Sarah. Actually respects boundaries. Doesn't have a yoga instructor boyfriend on the side. Life's pretty good. Sometimes at night I think about that moment when I put those papers on the table. The look on Sarah's face when she realized her plan had backfired. When she understood I'd been 10 steps ahead the whole time. That moment made everything worth it. She thought she could play me. Thought I'd just accept whatever she did because we were married, because of laws, because of obligation. She was wrong. I don't wish her harm. I don't think about her much at all anymore. But I don't regret a single move I made, not one. She wanted to play games with the law. I just played better.